Hello, I'm Gemma. I'm Chief Executive of Blood Cancer UK, and I can't quite believe it, but it has been a year to the week since I recorded my first one of these messages to the blood cancer community. And at the time, the government had just announced that shielding was going to be introduced, and we were just trying to make sense of what that was going to mean for all of us. And a year later, here we are, and depending on which bit of the UK you live in, the timetable's varying slightly, but essentially shielding is going to end in the next few weeks, and it felt important just to mark that anniversary of what has been an incredibly difficult year for many of us. We've certainly lost way too many people with blood cancer in this pandemic, and the levels of mental health pressure and financial pressure on our community have perhaps never been greater. That said, we're finishing a year and there is hope around. We've got a lot better at understanding what treatments are effective for people, and of course the vaccine rollout has gone at huge speed and is offering for lots of people some light at the end of the tunnel. One of the things I've been really proud of over the last year is that we've really stayed close to all of you, listened to what it is that you've needed, and tried to align the organisational resource that we've got at Blood Cancer UK to support you. So just wanted to tell you a little bit about what we're focusing on at the moment and to get some input from all of you. So I'm really concerned about the research happening into vaccine effectiveness. How effective are those vaccines going to be for different types of blood cancer, for people at different ages, for people at different stages of treatment? Putting a lot of effort into making sure that we have answers for people on that. Similarly, also around vaccines, what is the right dosage? Should people be having doses closer together? And also this kind of cocooning of vaccinating households feels really important policy priority for us. Perhaps the most important thing though is making sure that the NHS is in a good state, as good a state as possible, to start normal protocols of blood cancer treatment. So we know from our surveying, half of you have had your blood cancer treatment changed over the last year. We want to understand what impact that's had, but also support as much as we can to get the NHS back focusing on the things that matter most to patients. And obviously top of my list as well is about reopening trials and making sure that there's access to novel treatments for blood cancer patients as we go forward, not least because we know there are 10,000 people who should have been diagnosed in the last year with blood cancer who haven't been, and so sadly that means those people are going to turn up to the system at some point over the next year, probably in a worse state than if they've been diagnosed earlier. And so access to new treatments and clinical trials is going to be more important than it ever was. And of course there's a huge gap now in research funding. Obviously Blood Cancer UK's income has been affected, but so have all the other charity research funders' incomes, not least organisations like Cancer Research UK. So there's going to be less money deployed in medical research. So it's a real priority for us to, of course, get our income as high as we can so that we can spend as much as possible on research, but also to lobby for support of medical research in general, so that other money goes in to support that vital medical research that would have been funded by charities like ours, that we hope will go back to funding at record levels in the next few years, but it's probably not going to be in the next few months. So that's what I see as our priorities, but most important to me is to hear from you. Does that feel like the right things for us to be focused on? Are there things missing there that you really want to see us prioritise? Let us know. We'll put the details of how to contact me if you haven't got them already in the bar along the bottom of this screen. And in the meantime, please all stay well. We've pulled together as a community this year. There's been incredible resilience, and I know that we're going to be able to do that again over the coming months as we need to. Thank you ever so much for all your support, and I'll speak to you again soon.